Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Build a Mission. Just a real quick update, guys. The F-18 and or Flying with Overkill series is not done. I was waiting for today's update to make sure that nothing significant changed that I needed to be aware of before I started creating aircraft content. So that will resume. We have a new video that will be coming out tomorrow, so I hope you guys enjoy that. But anyway, so first thing is a shout out to Eagle Dynamics. I've already seen a ton of negativity on the forums, and it's sort of sad. I get that it's frustrating, guys, but the guys at Eagle Dynamics are doing a fantastic job. I work in software development as well, and it's a pain. Like it can be tough to do. But anyway, so shout out to Eagle Dynamics. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I love everything that came out today. I was a little disappointed when I saw that my unit type in zone wasn't actually in there, but you know, patience is a virtue. But anyway, all joking set aside, guys, keep up the great work. You're doing phenomenal, and I hope this video reaches your ears. Anyway, moving on. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to set up a reoccurring aircraft without using any scripts or anything. So basically, an example of a reoccurring aircraft, we have our tanker and our AWACS. Well, eventually they're going to run out of fuel, they're going to land, and you know, we want another one to come up, right? Especially if you're going to have a mission that's going to be up for a long time, you know, a multiplayer server mission, something like that. Okay, you want to make sure that you have your assets available. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. This is going to be kind of cool. What we're going to do, and you can see I changed their landing point to Katasi from Sakumi, where we had it, and that's just in case we want to use Sakumi as maybe like a small hostile base, you know, something for the helos or some of the shorter range aircraft to go and, you know, bomb the crap out of. So we're going to land at Katasi, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a trigger zone here. Is the first step. And it does, well, no, it doesn't need to be that large. That's ridiculous. Oh, hey, they changed that. New trigger zone -1. Interesting. Anyway, so we're going to call this Kataisi landing zone. Okay, and we're going to bring this down to probably 50. That's a little small. Let's go 100. We want to make sure that it hits there. And the cool thing is even if the wind changes, what we're going to do is we're going to put one here. And now that we can copy and paste, this is new, guys. We just came out today. We can copy and paste trigger zones. Okay. So we're going to do this. I love that. Katasi landing zone. Neat. So it adds the zone on there. Or did I put that there? Anyway, I might have added this. It's been a day, guys. Leave me alone. Alright, so we got everything there. Yep, I did put it there. Alright. So we got 2 landing zones here. That way, and what we're doing here, the reason why I put 2 of them is that way no matter which direction they land from, they touch it. Okay, now let's create our second aircraft, and you can repeat this as many times as you want, guys. I'm only going to do 2. Typically by that point, you know, mission's over, or in my case, it's restarting. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do one of these. So all I did was Control-C and Control-V to copy it. Now, I always do the 1.1 kind of thing. That way you know, again, sequence, location, just different ways to identify an object. That makes it easier to reference it later if you need to. And you can come up with your own different naming schemes, obviously. These are just tips that might help you guys out. And again, the purpose of identifying certain aircraft is you want to think about things that you may have to mess with again later, okay? And now the second one, obviously 1.2, we're going to set as late activation. Okay, and then what we're going to do is let's do the same thing for the AWACS. Okay, and we're just going to add that 1.1, 1.1. Okay, and let's grab him. I'm actually going to pull him down a little bit more closely to the friendly zones here. And I guess he'll be alright there. If it becomes a problem, we'll move him, right? I'm just worried about him being attacked, but I know we have him as invisible. So we'll change this to 1.2 as well. AWACS 1.2, late activation. And now they should already have everything else that we need. Okay, so he's going to have the frequencies already set. Okay, if we come into our tanker, they should already have the TAC cans already set. Okay, we check our second one. Alright, so everything's going to stay the same. All we're doing is reproducing the aircraft. And so now, in the event that they run out of fuel and they need to come home, let's create the target. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you guys is that's helpful here that was added a little while back, not too long ago, was the ability to color code your trigger options. Right. So what I'm going to do with all of these is give them a color. That way I know they're all part of one thing. And you can use the same color, you know, again later, you know, but like splitting things up in your colors is really helpful. Okay, so we know that this is all the VOGBA extraction, right? And actually here, I want to do this. VOGBA. Smoke on. There we go. That way we know everything's the same, right? And also, real quick, guys, I did add our other groups here. Okay, so they're just mirrored for right now. I may change their waypoints and landing points and things like that later on. But for right now, and all I did was come to the same trigger that we used to activate the first group and activated the other. So now all four of them will spawn, and that way, you know, if you have someone flying with you, they can pick up guys too. Now it's also helpful in case one of you gets shot down or something, you know, or crashes, God forbid, or something like that, right? All right, so now let's get back to our tankers. So next we're going to do, let's call it Texaco. And actually, to make this easier, hang on a second. We want to identify this guy. So where is he? This is a MPRS. Okay, so let's do that. We want that instead of Texaco. MPRS respawn. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new trigger. And we're going to do two different factors here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to come here and find unit inside zone. And come here and find Texaco. Oh, went too far. Where are you? There we go. Texaco 1.1. Okay, this is the first aircraft. Inside Katasi landing zone. Now, remember there's two landing zones. So we're going to do an OR here. And we're going to clone this, bring it down so it reads correctly, and then pick the second landing zone. This way we're covered no matter which direction he lands from. Now we're going to add one more trigger here. We're going to do unit altitude. AGL altitude lower than... We're going to find Texaco again. There you are. And we're going to say lower than 20 feet. Well, we'll do 30. Let's do 30. Just keep it safe. Okay, and so that way we know he's on approach. We know he's down. Odds are by the time he hits one of those trigger zones, it's going to be after he's already touched down, so he'll be below that. But anyway, so, and then we're going to do, we need to clone this one and move it up here. So that way you have both conditions on each direction. Okay, it's important that you guys understand this. Both conditions on both sides of the runway. Okay, and then we're going to do a flag. So we're going to do flag on, and let's go. I like to break up my flags into hundreds. So like we're going to call the 900s anything that's logistic. Okay, tankers, radio items, things like that, respawns of assets. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But we're going to do flag on 900. And then what we're going to do to simulate, you know, some time to bring him up there, rather than having the unit actually spawn from the runway, take off, wait for the taxiway, just to add a little bit, right? We're going to do a new one. MPRS, and this is where I'm going to do my naming scheme. 1.2 activate. And we're going to do time since flag. and we picked 900. And let's do 180 seconds. Let's do 3 minutes. So 3 minutes from the time he touched down, a new tanker will be airborne. Group activate, and this is where we find Texaco 1.2. Okay, and that's all there is to it. And let's go ahead and just color code this. Okay. And yeah, so simple stuff. And then what we can do, we can actually make this switchable too. So if, well, you want, back up. Forget I said that. We'll worry about that another time. There's a better way to do that one. But anyway, so let's do trying to think about if I want another one. Nah, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and just clone this, and basically what we're going to do is do the same thing for the AWACS. So we're going to come here, we're going to go, oops, AWACS respawn, and then here we're just changing the unit because they're both landing at the same location. So come up here and find our AWACS. There's AWACS 1.1 inside landing zone. Change it here too. Oh wait, we gotta change this guy too. Change his altitude restriction. AWACS 1.1. And then you could either clone it and delete these or just change the names. Whichever is easier for you. 1.1. Passed it, didn't I? There it is. 1.1. Okay, so let's just double check. 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.1. Okay, cool. And then flag on. Let's make this 901. Okay. And then we're going to clone this one. Bring it down. Change it to AWACS 1.2 activate. Time since flag. 901. And then group activate. Find our AWACS. Where are you? There it is. Jesus, right in front of me. 1.2. Okay, so now, and we can, again, change the color of these. Sort of give them a little bit. That way we know the AWACS broken up from the tankers. Okay, and so now we have a reoccurring unit. So now when these guys run out of fuel, they'll land. Once they hit these zones, by the way, when you do these zones, think about the size of the aircraft and remember DCS physics aren't always on point. So, you know, if they're landing at somewhere that's got multiple taxiways, you know, sort of think about which one they're likely to land at. Something you can do as a test is just pick up an aircraft or put like an AWACS right here and set it to landing, reduce its fuel load way down, and then tell it to land here and see where it turns off at. Right now, Katasi is a little bit easier because it only has 2 center taxiways, right? So that's why we have the 2 zones. So either way, it's going to pass through one of these, you know, no matter what. Whether it's to exit the runway here or if it passes it and goes to the end, you know, it's going to touch one of them. So things to think about there. Make sure your trigger zones are in a good location where the aircraft's actually going to touch down and go through, okay? But you can repeat this again and again and again, 1.3, 1.4, and just keep duplicating these triggers, you know, until you have as many aircraft as you feel that you need for your particular mission. Okay? That's going to be it for this particular one, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys soon.